Good evening and welcome to the public hearing dated the 30th of October 2023. This meeting is in consideration of an application to rezone the property known as Lot 2023 on a plan of subdivision showing a portion of lands conveyed to Stephen Healy and Patricia Healy prepared by DeWolf and Morse Surveying Limited as its plan number 2023-238P, being part of PID 55112999 from large lot R5 zone to single unit dwelling R1 zone. This public hearing was scheduled in accordance with the MGA, the Municipal Government Act. You will be asked to provide your name and address prior to speaking. You will have 5 minutes and only one opportunity. You are being recorded and live streamed. We ask that you be respectful of others' opinions. Your questions are directed to the moderator. No correspondence has been received prior to 4:30 on October 30th, 2023. A public hearing is a requirement for amendment to the land use bylaw as stated in the Municipal Government Act, Part 8, Section 205. A public hearing allows the public to provide input to council. Council will not be making any decision at this meeting. We are receiving information from the public to assist us in our decision-making for second reading after consideration of any submission made or received at this hearing. Council will have the opportunity to seek clarification from the planner or the development officer after the presentation. This is your last opportunity to provide submissions to council prior to decision-making. The public hearing is called a minimum of 14 days after first reading. The recommendation to council was presented and first reading in this case occurred at the September 30th, 2023 council meeting. Only those members of council who are present at this meeting may vote on all matters before this public hearing when it comes before council for second reading this evening. This meeting is called to order. The chair notes that all members of council are here. The agenda is fixed as presented. Planner Raleigh King from C&D Community Design will walk us through the remainder of the public hearing for the rezoning of proposed lot 23 on PID 55112999 as shown on plan number 2023-238P from large lot R5 zone to single unit dwelling zone. Raleigh?
Thank you.
You can adjust that table and the microphone to suit your height.
How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. So as you mentioned, this is for the rezoning and to propose R1 from R5 for PID 55112999, which I believe is on Prospect Road. So the October 30th public hearing, this meeting is posted on the Kentville town website, and it was also posted in the newspaper for 2 weeks prior to this as public engagement for this hearing. We received no feedback either through social media or written applications or any written submissions from the public. The request was for the development of PID 55112999, as I mentioned. The agent has applied for rezoning for a portion of the property from R5 to R1, and the property owner will be responsible for the cost of running any services or development regardless of its rezoning. So this is the proposed lot that they're rezoning, or the proposed section of the R5 lot. The proposed change will allow for the reduction in minimum lot area for the frontage, even prior to this section being subdivided off. It would have had appropriate frontage for R5, but this allows for it to have 80 feet of frontage, which is 30 feet over what's required of R1. So when we look at our guiding planning documents for this, we can see that large lot residential or R5 zoning was created and applied by council for several large tracts of land across Kentville. R5 lots are on service and there are no immediate plans for the future. The MPS policy 15.9.2 states that a rezoning will allow the property to develop for more intensive uses. Council is required to requires a detailed development plan to consider rezoning of R5 property, and council offers a list of evaluation criteria for the rezoning. Under the municipal planning strategy, the generalized future land use map is used as a guiding principle to designate future land use within the town. As part of the municipal planning strategy, it would be to consider rezoning sections of R5 lots to allow for more intensive use for that is similar to the area. The existing property is, as I mentioned, zoned R5, and it's located in an area that has a variety of already R1 uses or commercial recreational uses. The proposed zoning changes would switch it to R1. As I mentioned before, it would have that 80-foot frontage, and it would meet the lot square footage requirements for an R1 zone. So as you can see here, that's kind of laid out in our table there, where the frontage that was required of an R1 zone is 50 feet. And in this case, it would be 80. And the minimum square footage for the entire lot's area would be 5,000 square feet. But in this case, it will be nearly 13,000. For a single family home to be built on this property, it could have been done regardless of a rezoning or the rezoning's approval, just that this is to allow for a smaller lot and a smaller home closer to the front of this road on, is it Prospect? Yeah, Prospect Avenue. By changing the zoning, council may better maintain the potential for this area, so it more so coinciding with the subdivision next to it. The next steps from here would be for council to move to an immediate second reading, and then with the second reading's approval or rejection, it could be sent back to staff to review again, or with it being approved, it can move forward with the rezoning. So it is our recommendation that council move to rezone PID 5511299 to a single unit dwelling zone as outlined in our proposal, or in their proposal. That's it for me.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation. I will query the public here this evening. I realize that some of you are coming in for council meeting. However, if any of you are here for the public hearing with regards to the rezoning and you wish to have an opportunity to speak, you do have 5 minutes for that opportunity. If there is no one here for the rezoning, then I will open it to council for questions of our development officer or our planner. Council? Councillor Gerard.
Thank you, Worship. I'm just wondering, is this something, are they subdivided, is this built on spec, or is it gonna be occupied as soon as it's finished? Am I allowed to ask that? I mean, it's.
I don't see why not.
I don't have the answer to that question, unfortunately, not to
No,
my knowledge.
That's fine, that's fine, thank you.
If you'd like to, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Gerard. It is going to be built to be occupied immediately after it's built.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Maxwell?
Thank you. I'm just wondering what's beside that lot? Like, is there another residential house beside it on one side or not?
Yeah, so just next to it is a smaller subdivision, Deerhaven Drive there, I think, with that are all R1 homes, and then the rest of it around it is the remainder of the same subject property.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Worship. So with respect to the rest of that PID, do we have a sense what they're going to ask the other lands to be zoned for in that PID?
The remainder of, I would assume that it would have been remaining R5 until they make a proposal to do anything else with the property.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we don't know anything that they're planning on asking for?
not to my knowledge.
No? Okay, great, thank you.
Councillor, are there any further questions for the planner? If there are no further questions from the planner, then this meeting is adjourned, as we've completed the the agenda, and the time is 5:42. Raleigh, thank you very much for your time here today. I hope the roads
Thank
weren't
you.
too bad, and we'll see you again.